Hello everyone, today I'm back with another tutorial. In this video, we are going to create one quiz app using Kotlin. So this is a quiz app we are going to create. So this is the home screen of our quiz app. First, we need to enter the name. Here, I will enter my name over here is JG and click next over here and the quiz will start and it will ask the question over here. The first question is the what is the capital of India? If I select here Delhi, which is correct, and submit, you can see it turned to green when the question is right. Okay, let's move forward. Next, and if I select here the wrong question, here is a question who built Taj Mahal. Okay, let's select the wrong question over here. And if I select here is Babar, as you can see, this is the wrong answer and Shah Jahan is the right answer. And click next. Now, what is the capital of Russia? Here is I select the correct answer over here is Moscow and click next. As you can see, this is the correct answer and click next over here. And the next question is which is the largest continent in the world? And if I select here is Asia and click next. As you can see, this is the right answer and click next. And the last question is what is the currency of Germany? As I know the currency of Germany is euro. And if I select the dollar over here, as you can see, it is the wrong answer and the correct answer is euro and click finish. As you can see, this is my name and this is my score. I have answered the three correct answer. Okay. And if I click on the finish, I will return to the home screen over here. Okay. So what we need to do first, we need to take one project and here is a project I have already been created. Okay. First, we need to take one fragment. Okay. Let's take one fragment over here. I will take as new fragment and here I will select the black fragment and let's name it as the home fragment. Okay, and click finish. Now go to the layout file of our fragment and click on resource and click on layout. And this is the layout file. So what we need to do, we are going to design the home screen of our quiz application. Okay, let's check the first quiz app. So this is our quiz app. Okay, we are going to design this home page. Okay, let's begin. First, we need to take some colors. Okay, these are the colors I am going to, these are the colors. Okay, these are colors I'm going to use in my project. Okay, let's copy this, Control C, and move to the values folder over here and color.xml file. And let's paste the color over here. These are the color I'm going to use. Okay, blue, white, black, red, and green. And these are the color I'm going to use. Okay, let's save it. Now move to the home fragment over here. Let's design the screen. Let's design the screen. Okay, first remove this text view. Okay, now change this frame layout to constraint layout over here. Constraint layout. Okay, now inside this constraint layout, I will take some guidelines. Let's take one guideline. Android X constraint layout .widget guideline. Okay. Now let's specify the width I am giving it as 1 dp. Okay. And let's specify the height. And the height I am specifying it as 0 dp. Okay. Now let's specify the orientation. Orientation I am taking as horizontal. Okay. Now specify the guide percentage, constant guide percent, and I am specifying as 20%, which is 0.20. Okay, so if I take the 20%, the guidelines move over here, and if I change it to 30%, it move here. Okay, so I only need to take the 20%. Let's take the 20% over here. Okay, now let's give some ID over here. ID and ID I am giving it as guide top. Any ID you can give according to your choice. Okay, now let's close this. Okay, now after the guideline, I need to take one text view. Okay, let's take one text view. App compact, text view. Okay, the width I'm setting as wrap content and the height I am also setting as wrap content. Well, let's specify the constraints. So I need the text view below this guideline. Okay, so let's specify the constraint over here. Start to start of parent and top to bottom of this guideline, top to bottom of guide top. Okay, now specify the end to end of parent and to of parent. Okay, let's take one text I'm setting as quiz app. Okay, now set the text size I am setting as 35 sp. Okay, also set the text color I'm setting as white or any color you can set. Let's set to black. Okay, let's extract the string resource over here. Click over plus enter and extract the string resource and click OK. And let's give it some ID. I am setting the ID as quiz text view, which is TV. Okay, let's close this. Now, after the text view, I will take one card view. Okay, let's take one card view after this text view. Card view. Now, let's specify the width I am giving at 0 dp and the height I am giving at wrap content to the card view. Okay, let's specify the constraint start to horizontal constraint start to start of parent and top to bottom of quiz TV, top to bottom of quiz TV. Okay, and end to end of parent to end of parent. Okay, this is a card view, and let's specify the margin horizontal. Margin horizontal, I am giving it as 20 dp. Okay, this is a card view, and let's give the margin top also. Margin top, I am giving it at 30 dp. Okay, this is a card view. Let's give it some background tint. I am giving it color white. Okay, I can also take the custom background also. Okay, so for that I need to take one image. Let's paste one image over here. Click OK. So this is a image I am going to use for the background. Okay, you can easily download it. I'm going to attach it. Okay, now let's move to the fragment over file over here. Let's set the background to the constraint layout. Here give some background at the rate drawable slash background. So as you can see, the background has changed now. Okay. Now move toward the card layout over here. Now inside this card layout, I will take one constraint layout again. Let's take one constraint layout. And the width I'm setting as match parent. And the height I'm setting as wrap content. Okay. Let's close this. Now inside this constraint layout, I will take one text view, app compact text view, and the width I'm setting as wrap content, and the height also I'm setting as wrap content. Okay, let's specify the constraint start to start of parent and top to top of parent and end to end of parent. Okay, now let's specify the text over here. Setting as welcome, and let's change the text color. I'm setting the text color to black. Okay, let's specify the text size. Text size I am setting as 20 SP. Okay. Now also specify the text style. Text style I'm setting as bold. Okay. Let's give it some ID. ID I am giving it as welcome TV. Let's close this and click over here and extract the string resource. Alt plus enter. Extract the string resource and click OK. Now after this text view, I need one more text view. Okay, for that I need to display one message to the user for entering the name. Okay, let's create one text view after this text view, app compare text view. And the width I'm setting as ramp TV, wrap content, and height I'm also setting as wrap content. And let's specify the constraint start to start of parent. To start of parent, and I need the text view below this text view. Okay, so top to bottom of welcome TV. Okay, and end to end of parent. Let's see the text style. Text style I am setting to bold. Okay, and let's specify the text. Please enter name. Okay, let's specify the text size over here. And text size taking a 14 SP. I'm going to write the text over here. Please enter name. Okay, let's by the margin top. Margin top set to 10 dB. Okay, let's specify, give it some ID. ID I'm giving it as name TV, and let's close this and click here and extract the string resource or plus enter. Extract the string resource and click OK. Now you can see this is our design. Okay, look gorgeous. So after this text view, I need to take one edit text. Okay, let's take one edit text after this text view. App compact edit text, and the width I'm setting as 0 dB, and the height I'm giving it as wrap content. Okay, now let's specify the constraint. Start to start of parent and top to bottom of name TV, top to bottom of name TV. Okay, now let's specify the another constant which is end to end of parent, horizontal constant which is end to end of parent. Okay, as you can see, this is our edit text, and let's give it some margin horizontal. I'm giving it as 10 dB, and let's give some margin top, and I'm giving it as 20 dB. As you can see, this is our edit text. Let give it some ID, and the ID I'm giving it as name ET. Let's close this. As you can see, now after this edit text, I need to take one button. Okay, let's take one button after the edit text. App compact button, and the width I'm setting as 0 dB, and the height I'm giving it as wrap content. And let's specify the constraint. Start to start of parent and top to bottom of name ET, as you can see. And the next constant I'm specifying end to end of parent. Okay, as you can see, let's give it some margin horizontal. I'm giving it as 10 dB. As you can see, this is the button. Let's give it some background tint, and I am setting as at the red color blue. As you can see, this is the button, and let's give it some text. I'm setting text to next. Okay, let's extract the string resource. Click here, Alt plus Enter. Extract the string resource and click OK. Let's specify the text color, white, and let's give it some text style. I'm setting it as bold, and let's give it some ID, and let's first give some margin top. I'm giving the margin top as 20 dB, and let's give it some ID. ID I'm giving it an BTN, and let's close this. As you can see, this is the design we have successfully created. Okay, let's click Alt Shift plus L and click Run. Let's reformat this. Now you can see It's look gorgeous. Now we are going to cover more on our next part. Thank you. Welcome to the second part of Quiz App series. In our last video, we have successfully created the design of our quiz app. So in this video, we are going to design one data class. Okay, let's create one data class over here. Right click over here and new Kotlin class file, and I will name it as quotient data and click enter. Now change this class to the data class, and the data class contain at least one constructor, primary constructor. Let's change it to data class, and let's create one primary constructor over here, and inside it let's take one field. First field I will take one ID, which will be type of int, and the next field I will take is the quotient, where quotient, and which it will be type of string, comma. The next field I'm going to take is the option. First, I will display the option 1 to the user, option underscore 1, and it will be type of string. And the next option 2, option 2, and it will be type of string. And let's take option 3, where option underscore 3, and it will be type of string. Let's take option 4, where option underscore 4, and it will be type of string. And let's take another, which is where correct answer, and it will be type of int. Now we have successfully created the data class, and let's save it. Now we need to take one object. Okay, for creating object, let's right click over here, new, and here I will select the Kotlin class file. From there I will select the object, and let's name it as set data, and click enter. Now inside this, let's create one function, one get question, and it will return array list of type question data. Now take one val u of type array list of type question data. Let's initialize it to array list of, let's take val question1 q1, and initialize it to data class question data, and let's specify the field over here. The first field, it will take the ID. Let's specify giving the ID 1, and the next the quotient. Let's enter the quotient over here. First question I'm going to take is the what is the capital of India. Let's take the next field, which is option. Let's give it the option 1 to UP, and let's give it the option second, option giving it as MP. Let's give it the option 3. Option 3 I'm giving it as Delhi, and let's give it the option 4. The option 4 I'm giving it as Mumbai, and let's set the correct ID of the correct answer. The correct option is R, which is of ID 3. Let's mention it over here. Okay. Now take another question. Val Q2, and it will initialize to quotient data allow quotient data, and let's specify here the ID of our quotient 2, which is 2, and let's write the question over here. Who built Taj Mahal? And let's give it some option. Option 1 is Akbar, and let's give it some option 2. And option 2, I am giving it as Shah Jahan. Let's give it option 4, third, which is Babar. Let's give it option 4, which is Jahangir. And let's specify the correct one. The correct one is third one. This is option 2. Okay. Option 2 is correct. Now take the third question. You can set the question according to your choice. Okay, let's take the third question over here. Val Q3 question data initialize to question data, and let's take the question over here. First give it some ID. ID I am giving it as 3, and let's enter the question over here. First question is, which is the capital of Russia? And let's enter the options. Option 1 I am adding here is Paris, and the next option I am writing here is Madrid, and let's enter the option third. Option third I am writing here is Moscow, and let's enter the option 4. Option 4 I am giving it here is London, and let's specify the ID of the correct option, which is the third one. Now let's create another question. Val Q4, and let's initialize to quotient data, and here pass the ID, which is 4, and let's enter the question over here, which is the largest continent in the world. Okay, let's enter the questions over here. Let's enter the options. The first option I am giving it here is America. Let's enter the option 2, which is Europe, and let's give it another, which is Asia, and the next fourth option I'm giving it Africa, and let's set the ID of the correct one, which is option 3, Asia. Okay. Similarly, let's take the fifth question. Val Q5, and it will initialize to quotient data, and let's give it some ID giving it a 5, and let's set the question. which is the currency of Germany. And let's set here is the options. The first option I'm giving it as dollar, and let's give the second option, which is euro, and let's set the third option, which is rupees, and let's set the fourth option, which is dinar, and let's set the ID of the correct answer, which is 2. Okay, now let's add q. Let's this to the our array list, q dot add, and let's q1, and let's add the next element, q dot add, and here I will pass the q2. Similarly, q dot add, and here I will pass the q3, and similarly q dot add, and here I will pass the q4. Similarly q dot add, and here I will pass the q5. Now return the q over here, return q. Okay, now how we have successfully created the object set data over here. Okay, now we will cover the more on our next video. Thank you. Welcome to the part 3 of the quiz app series. So in the last video, we have created the data class and also created the object set data. So in this video, we are going to create one fragment and for displaying the questions. Okay, let's create one fragment. Right click over here and let's take new fragment, and I will take here is a black fragment, and let's name it as question fragment over here, and click finish. And let's go to the layout file of our fragment question over here and click on split. So we are going to design the layout of our questions. So first change this frame layout to constraint layout over here, constraint layout, and let's remove this text view. So inside this constraint layout, I will take one guideline. Let's take one guideline, and the width I'm giving it as 1 dp, and the height I'm giving it as 0 dp. And let's specify the guide percent over here, and the constant guide percent I'm taking it as 20%, which is 0.20. Okay, as you can see, the guidelines moves here. Now I am going to specify the orientation of guideline, which is orientation I'm giving here is horizontal. And let's specify the ID. Let's give it some ID. And the ID I'm giving it as guide top. Let's close this. Now I will take one text view below this guideline. So let's take one text view, app compact text view. And the width I'm setting as wrap content, and the height I'm also setting as wrap content. And let's specify the constraint start of parent, and let's specify the vertical constraint, which is top to bottom of guide top. As you can see, it will move below this. Now specify the end to end of constraint end to. end of parent, and it will move towards the center as you can see over here. Now let's give the text size over here, and the text size I'm giving it as 16 sp, and let's enter one text over here. Text, I'm randomly setting text over here. Enter your question, and let's extract the string resource from here. Alt plus enter and extract the string resource and click OK over here. Now set the text style. I'm setting the text style to bold, and also set the text color. The text color I'm setting here is black, and let's close this. Now I need to take one linear layout and want to display one progress bar over here. So let's take one progress bar. First take the linear layout over here. Let's take linear layout. I've compact linear layout compact, and the width I'm setting as match parent over here. Let's set the width over here is match parent, and the height I'm setting here is wrap content. And let's specify the constraint. Start to start of start of parent, and let's give it ID also. Let's give this text view ID. I am giving it as question TV. Now moves towards this linear layout. Start to start of parent and top to bottom of question TV. I need this layout, linear layout below this. Okay. Now here, let's specify the margin top here. Margin top I'm taking here is 10 dB, and let's specify the gravity. Gravity I am setting here as center vertical, and let's give the orientation of linear layout, and the orientation I am setting here is horizontal, and let giving some ID, and the ID I am giving it as linear one, and let's close this. And let's close this. And inside this linear layout, let's take one progress bar. Progress bar. And the width I'm setting here is 0 dB. Okay. And let's set the height to wrap content. Okay. Now let's set the layout weight. And the layout weight I'm setting here is 1. And the maximum number I'm setting here is 5. And I'm setting it to 5. And let's giving some padding, and the padding I am giving it as 10 dB. And let's specify the style of progress bar. You can also select the style, and the style I am saying here is @ style slash widget dot app compact dot progress bar dot horizontal. Okay, as I want the horizontal progress bar, and I have selected the style to horizontal progress bar over here. Okay, and let's give it some ID. And the ID I am giving it as progress bar. And let's close this. Now, after this progress bar, I need one text view. Okay, let's take one text view after this progress bar, or I can say to the right hand of the progress bar, I need one text view. And let's take one text view, app compact text view. And the width I'm setting as wrap content, and the height I'm also setting as the wrap content. And let's move forward and let's set the text here. And the text I'm setting here is at 1 to 5. And let's specify the text color. And the text color I'm setting here as black. And let's give the text size. And the text size I am setting here as 20 SP. As you can see, it is here. Let's zoom it. As you can see, the text is here. Now give it some ID. And the ID I am giving it as progress text. And let's close this. And let's extract the string resource over here, or plus enter. Extract the string resource and click OK. Now move forward. So after this, closing this linear layout, let's take one text view after this linear layout, and let's take one text view over here. A compact text view, and the width I'm setting here as 0 dp, and the height I'm setting here is wrap content. And let's specify the constraint over here. Start of parent, and I need it below this linear layout. And let's specify the top to bottom of linear 1, and also specify the end to end of parent, end to end of parent, as it will move the end to end parent. And let's set the text over here. Text I am setting as option 1. Okay, and let's give it some margin horizontal. I am giving it as 20 dp. As you can see, it move here from there to here. And let's give it some padding. I'm giving it as 5 dp. And let's give the text size. I'm giving it as 18 sp. Okay, and I can also give the gravity to center. Gravity I am setting here to center. As you can see, it moved towards the center over here. Now give it some ID. ID I am giving it as option 1. Now I can also uh, create one custom background for it. Okay, for that I need to take one layout resource file. So let's take one layout resource file for setting the custom background. So let's click here, and here I will take new driver resource file, and let's select here is, let's name it as question underscore option, and let's change the root element to here to shape, and click OK. Now inside it, let's take the shape over here. Let's click over here and set the shape to a rectangle. Okay, it will take the rectangle shape. Now here let's take one stroke, and the color I'm setting, let's set the color of the stroke, and the color I'm taking here is black, and let's set the width, and the width I'm setting here is to 1 dB, and let's set the color. Let's take one solid first, solid, and let's set the color here, and the color I'm setting here is to black. Okay, now let's close this. Also you can specify the corner radius, and the corner, and set the radius to 5 dp over here, and let's close this. You can see this is a shape I have created. Let's save it, Control S. So let's change this color to white first, not black. Now it's okay. Okay, now it's look fine. Let's save it, and let's move forward to the fragment portion over here and set the background over here. Background at the rate drawable slash question underscore option. As you can see, now it's look fine. Okay, let's zoom it. As now it's look fine. Okay, similarly, I have to take the option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4 over here, and let's extract the string resource over here, Alt plus enter, and extract the string resource, and click OK. You can see the file of the option 1 has successfully been created. Now, similarly, you have to take the option 2, option 3, option 4. In a similar way, you can create the option 2, option 3, option 4 over here. Let just copy it and paste it over here and change its ID. And let's give it some ID option 2 over here, and also change the constraint here. Start to start of parent will remain the same, and you just need to change the constraint top to bottom of, and let's set it to option 1, and also change the text over here, and I have set the text here to option 2. Similarly, you can create the option 3 over here and option 4 over here. Okay, and also create one button below this, and let's give the ID to the button. It's submit button. Okay, now more we are going to cover on a next part, and I'm also going to attach its code. You can easily download it. Welcome to the new part of the quiz app series. If you haven't watched my previous video, first watch the previous video, after that this video. So in this part, we are going to design the drawable resource file of our quiz app. So first we need to take the drawable resource file over here and take new, and I will select here new drawable resource file. and let's name it as selected question answer, selected question option, and change the root element to shape over here and click OK. Now click on split. Now here I need to define some color and stroke, and let's come inside the shape over here, and let's define the shape over here is shape, and defined here is rectangle. Now let's give one stroke over here, stroke, and let's give it some color, and color I'm giving it to blue, and let's give some width, and width I will give it to 2 dB, and let's close this, and let's take one color, and let's take it as white. Okay, now let's close this. Now let's define the corner radius, and let's give it as 5 dB. Let's close this. Now this is the drawable resource file I'm going to display when I select the question. Similarly, I have to take the another resource file for displaying the correct answer and the wrong answer. Okay, for that, let's take another drawable. I'll click over here, and let's take new drawable resource file, and let's name it as wrong question option, and let's change it to shape and click OK. Now click on split. Now here inside the shape, let's specify the shape over here. Let's move this, and inside this, let's specify the shape, and shape specify rectangle, and let's say take one solid over here, solid, and let's specify the color, and the color I'm giving it as, let's take first color red, and let's close this, and now take the corner radius, and I'm taking it as 5 dB, and let's close this. Let's save this. Now similarly, I have to take the green for selecting the correct answer. If the user select the correct answer, I will display the green. The answer will automatically turn green when the user will select the correct answer. Okay, for that I need to take the another drawable. So let's take it, new drawable resource file, and let's name it as correct question underscore option, and let's change the root element to shape, and let's click OK. And let's click on split. Now inside the shape, one take shape over here, and I'm taking at rectangle. Now take one solid color over here, solid, and let's take color. And the color I'm setting at green. Let's close this and let's take the corner radius as 5 dB and let's close this. Now let's save this. Now move to the home fragment over here. Now let's remove this line. Remove this. And let's remove this on preview. Now let's create one instance of binding over here. Latent it where binding. Let's first convert this layout to data binding layout. Let's go to the resource file of our fragment, fragment home, and let's click split over here and click here, right click over here and show context section. And first, let's check this. First, I need to enable the data binding over here. So let's enable the data binding, build, features, and here I will write the data binding and let's make it true and click sync now. Now go to fragment home over here and click here, show context section and convert to data binding layout and remove this line. Now move to the home fragment over here and let's place the instance of binding over here, latent it where binding of type fragment home binding. And let's remove this line, let's remove this companion object. Remove this. Let's initialize the binding over here. And binding initialize to fragment home binding dot inflate. And here I will pass the inflator. And next I will pass the container. And I will pass that rack to root. I will pass here is false. Now return binding dot root. Now override another function over here on view created. Now inside this, let's call one function over here, binding dot, and I will set here is on the click of button dot set on click listener. On the click of this button, I will pass the data from one page to another page. Let's clear one instance of fragment, and let's initialize it to quotient fragment. Now let's take the data from edit text and put it inside the bundle. bundle. Let's take one bundle over here first. Val, late in it, var bundle of type bundle, and let's initialize it over here. Bundle is initialized to bundle. Now here I will pass bundle dot apply, and let's pass here put string, and let's get the data from the pass the data in the form of key value pair, and let's pass the key over here is name, and next I will pass the data which I will get from that text binding dot name et dot text dot toString. Okay. Now I will pass one validation over here. So let's see over here. There are these one ID text. So I will pass one validation over here so that the empty data should not get passed to the next fragment. Okay. Let's move to the home fragment over here and let's pass one validation. When and let's get binding dot name et dot text dot toString dot is empty. Let's display one error over here. Binding dot name et dot error, and I will pass over here. Enter the name first, and let's take one frame layout inside our main activity over here, and let's open the activity main XML file over here, and we are going to display those fragments inside our frame layout. Let's remove this line and let's take one frame layout, or I can say let's change this constraint layout to frame layout, and let's give some ID over here. ID I'm giving it as home frame, and let's save it. Now move to the fragment home over here, home fragment, and let's pass the data from home fragment to the quotient fragment. So else I will write over here else let's open the frame layout over here. Let's first pass the data fragment dot arguments, and here I will pass the bundle. Now require activity dot support fragment manager dot begin transaction dot replace, and let's pass it here is a home frame r dot id dot home frame, and let's pass the fragment over here. Now dot add to backtrace for backward functionality in fragment, add to backstack, and here I will pass the null and dot commit. Let's save it. Now we will start working on our question fragment. Now I will move to the question fragment over here and let's open the question fragment. First, let's convert it to the data binding layout and let's open it and click over here, show context section and convert to data binding layout and remove this line. Now move to the question fragment over here and first let's remove this and let's remove this on create and let's remove this. Now let's remove this companion object and let's create the instance of binding over here. Late in it, where binding of type fragment question binding and let's initialize it over here. Let's remove this line and let's initialize it over here. Binding initialize to fragment home binding, fragment question binding, dot inflate, and it will take the inflator and then container. Then attached to root, I will pass here is false. Now let's return this. Return, it will return binding dot root and let's make it private over here. Make private. Now inside this, let's take one string where name and name it as string and let's initialize it to null. Now take another variable where score and I will initialize it to int. It will be type of int and let's initialize it to 0. Initially the score will be 0. Okay, the next field I need to take is the fragment. Val fragment and let's initialize it to result fragment. First, I need to create one fragment over here. For that, for displaying the result, I need to create one fragment. Okay, let's take one fragment over here, fragment blank fragment, and I will name it as a result fragment over here and click finish. Let's move to the quotient fragment over here. Now let's create the instance of fragment over here. Well, fragment, and it will be typed in result fragment. Now also create the bundle over here. I also need to take one position where current position and it will be type of int and let's initialize it to 1. Take another field where selected option and it will be type of int and let's initialize it to 0. Let's take another field where question list and it will be type of array list of type quotient data. Let's initialize it to null over here. Now let's override one function over here on view created. Now inside it, let's get the data from the bundle, which I have passed from the home fragment. I will get it over here, arguments dot let, and here I will take the data. Let's take the name and initialize it to, let's initialize the name to it dot get string, and here I will pass the key, which is our name. Okay, first change it to where over here now. Okay. Let's round it with null safety check over here. Now I will put the data from here and pass it to our the result fragment, and let's put it inside the bundle dot put string, and here I will pass the key value pair, and the key is name. Pass the data over here is name. Okay. Now let's initialize the quotient list, and quotient list is initialized to set data dot. Get quotient. Now here I will call one function set quotient and click it over here and create one function. And if user select any quotient, and it will turn to the according to other layout resource file, which is selected option. I need to change the color. Okay, so let's move over forward over here, and let's first check binding dot option one dot set on click listener, and here I will pass selected option. Let's pass over here selected. So first we need to create one function over here. So let's cut this. Let's create one function first. Let's create one function over here. Let's create one function over here on selected option style And here I will pass the view of type view, view of type text view, and it next argument I will pass the option of type int, and I will pass here event. Inside this, let's check when option. Let's type the when statement over here. When I will select the first option, it will change the color to binding dot option one dot background, and let's change background to context compact dot get drawable, and here I will pass require context, and the next argument I am going to pass is the color. Let's remove this line. We will going to work according with the functions. Okay, let's create one function over here is first. Let's create one function over here is option style, and click over here and create one function. Create one function option style. Okay. Now initialize the selected option, and let's initialize it to opt dot, or let's initialize the opt. Now view dot background. I will pass here is context compact dot get drawable, dot get drawable, and here I will pass is the required context. It will take the two arguments. First is the context. I will pass here is the required context, and the next argument take is the drawable resource, which is r dot drawable dot selected question option. Now specify the font view dot typeface, and here I will pass is the typeface dot default bold. Now here I will pass view dot set text color, and let's specify here is color dot parse color, or let's change it to color dot parse color, and let's specify the code of the color, which is hash. This is the code of the color. Now move to the option style over here. And here I will pass. Let's take one array well option list. And it will be type of array list. Of pass here is a text view. And let's initialize it to array list. Now let's add the option over here. Option list dot add, and let's pass the index. Index here is 0. And let's get the option binding dot option 1. Similarly, option list dot add, and I will pass the index over here is 1, and binding dot option 2. Similarly, option list dot add, I will pass the index is 2. Next is option list dot option binding dot option 3. Similarly, option list dot add, and here I will pass the index which is 3, and then I will pass binding dot option 4, and let's specify one loop over here for OP in option list. Let's set the text color over here. OP dot set text color, and let's pass visual color dot parse color. Let's specify the string of the color, which is hash 555151. Similarly, OP dot background, and let's set it to context compact dot get drawable, and here I will pass the dot get drawable. Here I will pass the context, and the next parameter I will going to pass the drawable r dot drawable dot portion option. Now OP dot typeface, and I'm going to pass here is typeface dot default. Now we will move under the set portion and going to set portions. Okay, we will cover that those on our next part. Thank you. Welcome to the new part of the Craze App series. Now we are going to set the questions. let's move inside the set question function over here, and let's remove this line. Now here I will write the other question, and let's initialize it to question list, and I will move to the one one position down and select the question one by one. So I need to write over here is current position minus one, and now now call the function over here is the option style. Now here let's set this progress bar, binding dot progress bar dot progress, and I will set here to current position, and let's specify the progress bar maximum, binding dot progress bar dot max, and here I will pass here is the position list dot size. I will pass the size of the position list dot size. Now here I will write the progress bar text, binding dot progress text, and here I will pass is the current position, and I will divide it to the position list dot size dot. Text dot text over here. Now it's okay. Now I will write here is binding dot question TV dot text, and here I will pass is the question dot question. Now here I will pass binding dot option one dot text, and here I will pass is the question dot option one. Similarly, binding dot option two dot text, and here I will pass is the question dot option two then option three. I'll move here. Now here I will pass selected option, and inside it I will pass binding dot option 1, and let's pass the option here is 1. Here I will call the selected option style. Okay. Similarly, binding dot option 2 dot set on click listener, and here I will pass selected option style. Here I will pass the option 3 binding dot option 2, and here I will pass it 2. Similarly, binding dot option 3 dot set on click listener, and here I will pass the selected option style and binding dot option 3, and here I will pass the 3 binding dot option 4 dot set on click listener option style, and I will pass the binding dot option 4, and I will pass here is 4. Now I will pass here is binding dot submit button dot set on click listener, and here I will pass if selected option is not equal to 0, then I am going to display the questions where question, and it will initialize to question list current position -1. If selected option is not equal to question dot correct answer, then I will pass the change the submit button text to binding dot submit button dot text, and I will change it to submit. Similarly, I will set the selected option to the wrong option color, set color. Let's create the first function over here is set color, and click it over here and create one function set color. Now inside the set color, let's specify two argument over here is one option which will be type of int, and the next argument it will take the color, and it will be type of int. Now inside it, let's specify when option, when the option is 1, binding dot option one dot background set to context compact dot get drawable. And here I will pass the first it will take the required context, and the next argument it will take is the color. Similarly, let's copy this. When the option is two, let's copy this. Similarly, the option is three. When the option is four, now here inside the set color I will pass selected option, and the next it will take the drawable, which is wrong. When I will select the wrong answer, it will turn to red r dot drawable dot wrong question option. Okay. When it will select the correct answer, it will turn to set color question dot correct answer, and it will turn to green r dot drawable dot correct question option. Else I will pass to here is if you just select the correct option, else set color, and here I will pass the selected option, and second option it will take is the r dot drawable dot correct question option binding dot submit button dot text, and here I will pass is the next, and I will increase the score. Similarly, I think I will increase the score, increment the score to one. When the user answer the correct answer, I need to update the score similarly, and here I will check if user reach the end of the list, current position is equal to position list dot size, then I will pass here is binding dot submit text, submit button dot text, and let's change it to finish, else it will change the button to next, binding, dot submit button, dot text, and it will change to next over there. Else I will pass over here is else we need to increment the position by one, current position, and let's increment it. And when, here I will pass when current position is less than, when the user do not reach the end of the portion, we need to update the portion similarly. In the same way, current position is not equal to, or we can say is less than equal to portion list dot size. We need to update the portions. Else, when the user successfully answer all the questions, we need to put the score inside the bundle and pass it to the result fragment. Bundle dot put int, and it will take the first the p, which is 4, and the next argument it will take is the score. Now let's pass the fragment dot arguments, and let's pass the bundle over here. Now require activity dot get sport fragment manager dot begin transaction dot replace, and here I will pass the ID of the frame layout r dot id dot home frame, and next it will take the fragment, which is the result fragment dot add to batch stack, and let's specify the null for the background functionality in the fragment and dot commit. Now we have successfully created our portion fragment. Now we move to the result fragment for displaying the result. Now let's move to the result fragment over here. First we need to design the layout of our result fragment over here, and let's click on split. So we are going to cover those on our next video. Thank you. Welcome to the new part of the quiz app series. Now in this part we are going to design the result fragment to display the result of our quiz. So let's begin. First change this frame layout to constraint layout over here. Constraint layout. Now remove this text view. Now first I need to take one guidelines. Let's take one guideline. Android X dot constraint layout width get dot guideline. Let's set the width set to 1 dp, and let's set the height. I am setting the height as 0 dp over here, and let's specify the orientation of guideline. I am specified is as horizontal guideline. Now specify the guide percent. Let's take the 20%, which is 0.20. As you can see, this is my guideline, and now let's specify it id. Let's give it id as guide top, and let's close this. Now below this guideline, let's take one text view to display the name. Let's take one text view over here, and let's set the width to match parent and height to wrap content, and let's specify the constraint over here. Start to start off, parent, top to bottom of guide top, and end to end of parent, and let's specify the text size. I am giving it as 16 sp, and let's give it some id. Congratulations TV, and let's set the text. Let's set the random text. I am dynamically I am going to display the text over here. Let's set the random text over here is congratulations name, and let's extract the string resource. Press alt plus enter, extract the string resource, and click OK. Now specify the text style. Text style is bold, and let's set the gravity of the text to move it toward the center. Gravity center. As you can see, the text moved towards the center, and let's close this. Now below this I need one text view to display the score. After the name, you need another text view to display the score of a person. So let's take one text view over here, app compact, text view, and the width I am setting here is a wrap content, and the height I am also setting as a wrap content. Let's change it to wrap content over here. Now it's okay. Now specify the constraint. Start to start off, parent, and next I will specify the top to bottom of Kong TV, and end to end of parent, Now specify the text size. Text style, bold. Let's set the text. Your score. That give me some ID. PV. And let's extract the string resource from here. Click out plus enter. Extract the string resource and click OK. And let's get some margin top. Margin top I am giving it as 10 dB. Now let's close this. Now below this text view I need one button. So for finishing the quiz, so on the click of the button the quiz will be finished. And let's take one text view, width wrap content, height wrap content, or below this I am going to display the score. Okay, before that, below this text view I need to display the score. After that I will take the button. So let's start off parent, and another constant I am going to pass top to bottom of sport TV, and let's specify the end to end of end to end of parent, and let's specify the text size 16 SP, and let's specify the text style. I am giving it as bold. Now specify the text, and let's leave it blank. I will set the score after obtaining it. Okay, let's give it some ID. I am giving it as score obtain TV. And let's give it some margin top. Margin top I am giving is at 10 dB. And let's close this. And below this score I need one button. So let's take one button over here. App compat button, and the width I am setting as 0 dB over here, and the height I am setting it as wrap content. Let's specify the constraint over here. Start off parent and top to bottom of score obtained dB. To end of parent. Let's give margin horizontal 20 dB, and let's set the text here finish, and let's extract the string resource from here. Alt plus enter, extract the string resource and click OK. Now set the background of the button here, background, and let's set this at color /blue. As you can see, this is the our button, and I can also change the color of the text color, and I am taking as white. As you can see, I have successfully changed the text of the color, and let's Close this, and let's give it some id finish button. So in this part we have successfully created the design of our result fragment. On our next part we are going to implement the functionality of the result fragment. Okay, thank you. Till then you can watch the video and you can also download the resources. Welcome to the new part of the quiz app series. In the last video, we have successfully created the design of our result fragment. Now we are going to display the result inside our result fragment. For that, first we need to open the result.fragment Kotlin file over here. Let's open it and let's remove this first. Let's remove this and let's remove the onCreate function. And let's remove the companion object. Now let's enable the data binding. For that, let's go to the fragment result over here and click over here, right click over here and show context section, convert to data binding layout and remove this line. Now move to the question fragment of result fragment over here and create an instance of binding over here. Late init where binding of type fragment result binding, and let's initialize it over here. Binding initialized to fragment result binding dot inflate, and it will take inflator, then container, then attached to root. I will pass here is false. Now return the binding over here. Return binding dot root. Let's make it private. Now here we need to create the two instances. Let's create one name var name and initialize it to of type string, and let's initialize it to null. Another I'm going to take is the score, where score of type int, and let's initialize it to null. Now let's override another function which is onViewCreated, and inside it let's take the data which have passed to the bundle and get it over here, which is name arguments dot let, and here I will pass let name it. Let's initialize the name it dot get string, and I will pass over his name, and the next one is score it dot get string, and here I will pass the key which is score. Okay, which score is integer. Okay, get int score. Now set the text. Now set the name and score to the text view. Binding dot Congo TV dot text, and I will pass over the name over here. Similarly, binding dot score obtain TV dot text, and I will pass here score dot text dot toString. or I can say the score.toString. Now on the click of finish button, binding dot finish button dot set on click listener, and inside it I will pass let's finish the activity, require activity dot finish. Okay, we successfully created the all the fragment of our quiz app. Now we are going to run the app and test it. Let's make it private first. Now before running we need to replace the frame layout. Okay, we are going to display the fragment first. Okay, let's go to the main activity over here. And click here and show context section, convert to data binding layout. Now remove this line. Now go to the main activity, and here let's create the instance of binding I have already created over here. As you can see, you need to create the instance of binding and initialize it over here and replace the frame layout with the home fragment over here. Okay, now let's go to the question fragment over here, and let's open this, and here I need to initialize the selected option to 0. Each time when I select the option and click next, the selected option will initialize to 0 over here. Okay, now the app is complete. Now check the code and let's run the app. As you can see, the app has successfully been launched. Now if I enter the name over here is my name, Jesse, and if I click next over here, as you can see, the quiz has been started. And if I select the answer over here is and click submit, as you can see, the answer is correct and it turned to green. And now I click next, and if I select the wrong answer over here, as you can see, it turned to red and the correct answer turned to green. And click next, and let's answer this. Click next and next, and you can see finish. As you can see, this is my name, and the result fragment I am displaying my score and name as well. And if I click finish over here, as you can see, it returned to the home screen. Okay, I am also going to attach the file. You can check on our resource. Thank you.